is the difference between an illegal immigrant who unfortunately engages in that activity?
And we don't like that. I want to be clear. We don't use the term illegal. So
yeah, we don't.
Undocumented individuals.
They're illegal aliens. Undocumented individuals.
Sweet indeed. What's going on, everyone? I wanted to talk about illegal immigration, the Democrats, and their this is something I noticed with the left. The left loves to play word games with us, right? We're trying to, because to me, words have meaning, words have a function, words have a purpose to articulate what you observe in reality. But for the left, it seems like, and this has been a major point of my channel, if you're new here, my major thesis or my major position about most liberals and most people on the left is that they want you to have a certain perception on reality, right? That's why conservatives like to throw out this term, liberals like to distort reality, because they want you to perceive things a certain way. And this comment in the intro, like 14 seconds, but a very meaningful exchange. A man said, hey, we should not allow illegal immigrants to come into this country, or we should have some penalty for people breaking into your law as the first action they do into trying to come into your country. They want to play these little word games with us. And this is the title of this video. The left love to play word games. Why? Because they try to massage something they know is not right. They're trying to control your perception over the issue. Biden refers to millions of illegal aliens who have flooded into the U.S. as newcomers. Since February of this year, Biden and the Democrats have been trying to change the language surrounding immigration. Biden rewards hundreds of thousands of migrants who violated federal immigration law. And the difference between an illegal and a legal immigrant is how they came to this country. Because at the end of the day, the ends does not justify the means. It does not. The means is, hey, I feel like I'm justified in cutting the line, aka skipping people who are actually doing the actual way, and just coming into this country and just like, hey, take me as I am. And then I'm backfilling legal immigrants and I'm pushing them back another 2 years, 3 years because people decided to skip the line. That's the difference. The difference between an illegal immigrant and a legal immigrant is a legal immigrant let us know who they are, tells us exactly what their history is, why they want to come over here, and we can make an accurate assessment on whether or not we want to bring them in or not. And illegal immigrants just show up regardless of their criminal history. You don't even know where they are. You don't even know if their actual age is. And now we have to do more work to further vet and verify who this person is. And then they are entitled to want to stay in this country. The difference between an illegal immigrant and a legal immigrant is the same difference between an invited guest and an uninvited guest. They're both guests, but one you're aware of and one you are not. And last time I checked, if someone comes to your house uninvited, you have the right to what? Refuse them from coming in. Hey, I'm not prepared for you. Hey, my house is not ready for guests right now. You just showed up without consoling me or letting me know you're coming. Don't be mad when I turn you away. Over an invited guest, hey, I prepared for you. I got my house ready for guests to come over. When you come over, you will have a good experience. You got a lot of these illegal immigrants complaining about how America isn't an America anymore, how they're being treated, how they got to stay out in the cold, and they don't like the living conditions they're in. Bro, you showed up uninvited. America wasn't prepared for you to come here. But then it's America's fault. The entitlement. And this is a losing issue for the Democrats because they know this. This is why I think they're playing all these little word games, trying to tell American people, no. They're newcomers. They're not illegal immigrants. To obfuscate or admit the fact that they're breaking laws by coming into this country. And the difference between a conservative and a Democrat, I guess, on this issue is the fact that conservatives believe that asylum is not a human right. You don't have a right to entry into another country just because you're hungry. Just because you're being politically prosecuted or whatever made up reasons that a majority of these illegal immigrants use to just break the law to come into this country. Just like it's wrong if I'm hungry and I decided to go steal food from someone else's house and I go to jail for that, it's still wrong, regardless of my reasoning for it. And this is something that Democrats leverage a lot. They try to leverage empathy in such a way for their own political gain when all it is just for them to they know they gain a benefit from illegal immigration. This is why they try to massage it and they try to normalize this into American politics. But I think it's not working, as you're going to see from this clip I'm about to show you. Majority of Americans agree that there should be mass deportation in this country. Let's take a look.
They're going to use those comments as yet another demonstration of just how anti-immigrant, anti-Latino, anti-American Donald Trump is, as he's trying to convince people outside of his MAGA coalition that he actually wants them to support him. He's never going to be able to do that with these horrific racist comments that he's making, and he seems to enjoy what he's saying. And yes, it riles up his MAGA base because they are as xenophobic as he is, but it does nothing to try to add support from the voters, the independents, the suburban women, the other coalitions that he needs in order to win. So as a Democrat, by all means, keep saying what you're saying. It's exactly who he is at his core. As a Latina and as an immigrant, it makes me want to throw up, frankly, to tell you the truth.
Scott?
2/3 of the American people support Donald Trump's policy prescriptions for immigration right now, including a majority of Hispanics in the United States.
Comments?
Let me just
I mean,
tell
do
you
you see them as racist and xenophobic comments? I mean, he's painting migrants as, being violent, that they have violent tendencies, right? And of course, dehumanizing them to being entertainment for the rest of us.
Is he painting them as being violent? I mean, would Lake and Riley think they were violent? Would Rachel Marin think they were violent? Would Jocelyn Nungare in Texas think they were violent? How about the girl that was raped in broad daylight in New York City? How about the girl that was kidnapped in Missouri? Yeah, there are violent people in the country. And yeah, Donald Trump uses colorful language, but the bottom line is immigration is killing Joe Biden's campaign right now. This is why he has a low approval rating. This is why Donald Trump is honing in on this. And people are responding to it, and people are fed up with it. And if you want to call 2/3 of the country racist or xenophobic because they're in a mood right now that they want this fixed, yes, agree. By all means, go on. It's not going to work.
And this is another part of the word games too. And then the left wonder why people don't take their complaints about racism and all these little words they like to throw around. Because all it seems to me is a racist is someone who disagrees with a Democrat. That's all it seems to me. I mean, that's the sense I'm getting. Let me know in the comment section what sense you're getting from these comments, because nothing she said is actually based in any reality. She doesn't highlight how Americans benefit from illegals breaking into their law, coming into this country, disrespecting them. And I love the fact that what Scott Jennings did at the end when he kind of summarized, okay, look at all these instances of illegal immigrants that came in here, broke the law, where these instances may not have ever happened if we were tougher on the border. And this is something Democrats are knowing they're losing on the issues. And they want to sit here and pretend and try to virtue signal on us. Like, yo, you're not going to gaslight us. We want what we want. Hey, I don't want uninvited guests to just show up at my house and then I have to feel obligated to let them in my house when I wasn't prepared for them in the first place. Make it make sense. Here's the poll. Half of Americans support mass deportations of illegal immigrants. More than half of Americans, including 42% of Democrats, said that they would support mass deportation of illegal immigrants, according to a new Axios Vibe poll on Thursday. This is of April 25, 2024. They want to obfuscate from this fact, this reality. Because the reality is, look, we can't sustain the system. We don't want amnesty for them. They're already a burden on our taxpayers. We got to pay homeless people units, a luxury apartment in LA. And you want to bring more people who essentially are homeless from the start into our country? Make it make sense, Democrats. Make it make sense. You can't make this nonsense sense. You can't make sense out of this nonsense. This is why they focus so much on what words are being used instead of tackling the issue. And here's an example of this we're going to talk about, right? Because I got some clips for you guys, and I'm trying to do more to highlight examples of what I'm talking about. Look at apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border. Biden administration, his administration not even done yet, and he has 3 times as much encounters, illegal encounters, than Trump's entire administration. Right? Because the Democrats, they're going to play these little word games, and this is where the focus of the video is. They're going to play these little word games where they're trying to tell you, the Republicans got in the way of passing comprehensive border security laws, when Trump literally had the exact same hand that he was dealt, but for some reason he was able to manage the border better with the same hand that Biden got. Trump didn't get no comprehensive border security. They tried to pass it in the House. It didn't pass the Senate. The Secure the Border Act. So Trump said, okay, I'm going to use executive orders. And then Democrats will be like, oh, I don't understand why we're getting hit or why people are saying we're at fault for the borders when the Republicans were in the way. Because the Republicans articulated, hey, you guys are not good on this issue. Why the hell should we compromise with you on this issue? Because you are ineffective. It's like someone's arguing with a scientist. If a scientist says you don't know the information, I don't need to compromise on the solution with you because you don't know the information. It's the same thing with a Democrat on the border. Republicans have a track record of being better on the issue. You should defer to the Republicans, Democrats, but y'all don't do that because y'all want to play politics with these issues. Enough rambling for me. Let's hear an exchange. This is what happens when the media actually do their job, give some pushback. This is the benefit that Americans can benefit, because I think this was a really decent interview from this reporter. Let's take a look.
0.9 million apprehensions at the southern border. Thus far, in Biden's term, there were just over 2 million in Donald Trump's entire term. What did the president do wrong?
No, this isn't about what the president did wrong. Remember, on the very first day that he was sworn into office, President Biden asked Congress both for the resources and for comprehensive immigration reform. The Republicans blocked it.
Donald Trump didn't have that either, Senator. He didn't have that either, and there were 2 million during his entire term.
I love the fact how they come in, oh, poor Biden, but they don't do this game with Trump. When Trump got hit with the pandemic, everything was Trump's fault. But all of a sudden, when it's Biden, oh no, the Republicans. Oh, Donald Trump stopped it because it wasn't going to work. People, look, this is my argument. When you have a flooding problem, you don't want water to continue trickling out of the faucet. You want it completely shut off. That's the solutions Republicans want and what most Americans want. They want the water to get out of the bucket. Hey, we need to get this bucket out of here because it's overflowing. We can't manage all this water, aka illegals. We don't need them trickling in here slowly. And that's what Biden's executive orders was. And let's go back to the first 100 days of Biden's administration. What he did, he reversed all of Trump's executive orders that was managing the border that got Trump only 2 million for his entire term, while Biden's at 6 million encounters. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You went in, you reversed all the border policies all the executive orders that Trump put in place, because you had a vendetta of trying to show that Trump was incompetent. Trump didn't know what he was talking about, that you had to revoke everything he did, even though objectively it was working effectively. And this is my problem when you put party over country. If Biden was American first, if Biden really cared about the American people, he would have left what was working. Hey, I don't agree with Trump. I don't like a lot of his policies, but this policy here he did on the border is effective. I'm not going to touch it. No, you got to play politics and you reverse all of it. Cut your nose to spite your face. Typical liberal, typical Democrat, because they know they gain politically from having illegals coming over the border. There's no one who can try to debate this with me, right? You benefit from illegal census. This is why a lot of liberal cities are sanctuary cities, because they grow their census, aka they get more representation in the House, which means there's more political power on the Democrat side. Your cities are densely populated. You know that once these illegals start having kids, their kids are more prone to vote Democrat, because you cater to them, you bribe them with MST, Dreamers, the same way you're doing with student loans. But y'all want to sit here and try to virtue signal talking about y'all looking out for the betterment of Americans. How does this benefit Americans? You got these illegals coming into majority black neighborhoods, increasing crime in their areas to the point where the residents in those black neighborhoods are threatening to say, hey, cops, if you don't deal with this, we're going to take it into our own hands. You got black people in Chicago saying that about illegal immigration. But you want to pretend that it doesn't hurt anybody. They're hungry. That's why we got to let them go. Okay, what about our hungry? We got homeless people we got to take care of. And we're putting them aside to go help people who first act is breaking into their country. These illegals are, and then the funny part is, if you see videos of some of these interactions illegals have with police, they have no respect for our laws because they started coming into this country off the wrong foot. And you want us to continue rewarding this behavior? Show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome. If you do not punish people for breaking your laws, you're only going to incentivize them to continue doing more of it. Positive reinforcement. Look it up. It's a psychology term. But these liberals, these Democrats, they want to sit here and pretend that they're so much more knowledgeable than us. They got such strong facts. What all this is them trying to mask the fact that they benefit from illegal immigrations from a political perspective. I digress.
Last fall, the president tries to deal with the problem that is presented to him. He can't deal with it if Congress and the Republicans continue to block him. And so the president is using the tools available to him, both to create border security, but he doesn't have the resources because the Republicans are blocking access.
But he is president. Understood. I do think you've made your point. But poll after poll, as Matt Rivers just pointed out, say that this is a very weak poll number for President Biden. Trump surpasses him by 17 points in trust and working the border.
I understand that. And I understand that the president is doing what he can with the resources available to him. But you know as well as I do that he can't manufacture more judges. He can't manufacture more guards.
AKA letting more people in. And that's not what people want. We don't want more processing. We don't want more buckets to keep up with the flow of water coming into the house. No, we want to drain the bucket, AKA we want to deport these people. And majority of Americans agree, majority of Hispanic voters agree, because these people are costing the system. They can't contribute into the system. You don't even know they have the skills required to actually be sustainable in this country. Like imagine, we complain about how cost of living is so high. How do you expect these people to come in with minimum skills to come in? Because at the end of the day, if you have high, like let's say you're a software engineer from India, you're more likely to be a legal immigrant, not an illegal immigrant. Like, make that make sense. You don't like people who have the skills to actually make it in this country. They're going to be legal immigrants, not illegal immigrants. And you expect these people to be able to sustain themselves in this country, and you wonder why they take so much advantage of the welfare system in our country, because they don't have limited skills to actually provide for themselves in this economy. But you want to bring them into this? You're setting them up for dependency and failure in this country, and that's the reality. There's some stories out there. There's some reports. This is alleged. There's some reports of welfare recipients giving voter registrations to people who are going on welfare without verifying if they're citizens or not. This is the kind of game they're playing. But then no. It's not happening. You don't see it. You don't hear it. That's the game they're trying to play. Word games to distract from the fact of the functionality, the result of these policies. They try to play on your heartstrings. They try to play on your emotions, your empathy. Oh, don't you feel sorry for these people? And if you question the validity of their stances, they want to call you names like racist, xenophobic, and they wonder why these words have lost meaning in our society today. I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this topic on the border, the Democrats' use of language on the border, trying to soften the impact of it. I'd like to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.